more cowbell. I could have used a little more cowbell. I gotta have more cowbell. You probably give him more cowbell.
Buddies. That may have been the loudest cowbell yet.
Buddies, it's the Ron and Fez show. I'm Ron. There's my best pal, Fez.
Hi, everyone.
And we're live in Boston at the Democratic Convention.
We're here in the Al Jazeera booth. They took down the sign.
No, we're not. We asked if we should go to that, and they went, no, it's nothing but problems. But wouldn't that have been fun, Fez, when you watch it on TV? I have the same feeling I do when I watch the Super Bowl, like, that's the place to be. That's the party to be at.
It looks like a great time, and everyone just looks like they're at a fever energy pitch the whole time.
Now, to me, if you and I were up there, where I'd want to be is that clam bake at Ted Kennedy's house, where you're having cocktails with Ben Affleck later on in the night. I always like the fact that a cocktail party is hosted by a known alcoholic, a man who's already out of rehab.
I watched the Ben Affleck booth. I saw that on the news last night, and I'm wondering, how big is his head?
Oh, it's gigantic.
Because it looked like there was little tiny people all around him, like he had brought in little pixies just to sit in his booth.
I saw him once on the streets of New York, and his head... It was big enough for the Macy's Day Parade. It's a big Easter Island head, and if you notice, a lot of people in either movies or television, they have big heads in real life. Somehow it photographs better or makes you direct their attention. Jay Leno has an enormous head also.
Well, it worked with Ben Affleck because when they put the camera up on that booth, that's all you could see. It looked like a bunch of school kids were hanging around the Lincoln Memorial, just sitting on his knees and stuff.
Maybe the reason that it works so well is that it forces you always to be in the center of the screen. They can't have them off to the right or left.
Yeah, and not even by choice. That's just gravity pulling the camera there.
I don't think it has its own gravitational pull. It's a big head. But I'm going to tell you, just look around in show business, a lot of people on TV or films, and just start to look at the size of their heads. Also, it works well in politics. John Kerry, an enormous head. And the first President Bush, I had the opportunity to meet him. The head, I could not... and it doesn't really come off that way, but the head of the first President Bush is the size of a refrigerator.
Yeah, that's Mac Tonight from McDonald's size head. It's the same shape, too. It's got that nice curve to it.
Yeah. And I said to him, it's a pleasure, Mr. President, and I had no idea your head was so enormous.
Well, what else can you say at that point?
Wow, how do you hold up that melon?
Teddy Kennedy's head is huge.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
But it's round huge. It's not that long John Kerry face.
He's got a pumpkin head.
Yeah, it looks like there should be a basket carrying Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz underneath it. It's just gigantically round.
Are you saying it's a small head or?
Oh, large.
Oh,
just the opposite, in fact.
It's a big head.
Yeah, it's just gigantic.
So, again, if you have a child with a big head, don't make fun of him. Don't tell him he looks like an apple on a toothpick. It's a good thing. It works in life for whatever reason. Well, maybe they appear smart to us.
I guess so. Like it's a big brain theory or something. Now, when President Carter went back into the booth after his speech, he looked like a little tiny head.
Yeah, I know. Maybe it's because he's standing next to Ted Kennedy and Ben Affleck, and they're two bobbleheads. If they made bobbleheads of these people, it would just be actual size.
Just add bobble.
Yeah.
So President Carter, it's amazing how feisty he is. I always think back, if he had been that feisty in 80, he might have had a chance to win.
Yeah, well, I think it helps a lot of times when you're no longer president. You can say exactly what's on your mind. I thought he was a little too feisty, the stuff I saw him. What did you think?
I just thought, wow, way to go, old guy.
Yeah, you liked it, huh?
Yeah, I liked it a lot, especially when he goes that the price of this election is our very soul.
And the weird thing is he did talk that way when he was president. He would always let on, we have to do more. We have to give up some of the things you people love. And Americans went, nah, believe me, we'll take an actor from California before we start turning off the heat.
Yeah, we need Christmas lights and air conditioning.
All right, tonight the big speech is going to be by Ted Kennedy, Fez, who... When's the last time he's really addressed the nation? Are you going all the way back to 1980 since he kind of went for the center spotlight?
Yeah, where it counted.
Yeah.
You know, where it was like, oh, Teddy Kennedy is in the thick of things.
Well, I mean, he does, he's very well respected as a senator on both sides of the aisle, believe it or not. A lot of people don't know that, but the Republicans think that he's a great senator to work with. 50 years, people are saying, the last 50 years, the last half of the century, people are saying he's the most probably powerful senator, a senator able to get things done. But he never went back to that center stage. I guess he had it in his mind that that's it, I had my shot, I just can't win this thing, and I love my booze, and I love my women, and I can't give that up just to be president.
Yeah, well, back in 1980, he had even reconciled with Joan. So that there was a married couple running for office.
I forgot about that.
So, I mean, if that didn't work, there's no reason for him and Joan to stay together.
Yeah.
If there's no presidency on the line. And after that, it's just like, what chance do you really have with the American people?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't get over that Chappaquiddick thing. No matter what you think of the guy, that's a big one. That's a big one. What did you think of the speeches last night?
I didn't get to see Al Gore, but I heard Comedy Showcase is what I kept hearing, with just all the recount jokes of you win some, you lose some, and then there's that rare third category.
Right.
I thought Hillary was good, and Bill Clinton, there's whatever you want to say about the guy, there's no touching him in the speech department.
Great public speaker. I think that could almost be a problem for John Kerry, because when I was watching Clinton last night, I was thinking to myself, wow, it really seems like he's holding back. This doesn't seem like a convincing speech, because he was being so nonchalant and so laid back. I'm like, this looks like a lunchtime speech somewhere. But he was just building it and really started to kick ass.
Well, if you watch like Hillary compared to Bill last night, I know it's a big, huge crowd at the Fleet Center.
Yeah.
And Hillary is screaming her speech because she's working a crowd.
Yeah. And doing her man voice for whatever reason. We will go after the Republicans. We will prevail.
And then you get Bill Clinton, who's basically having a conversation.
Yeah. He's all but got his hand in his pocket and talking to you over the fence. And when people go, hey, that was a terrible speech, or I hate that guy, they just hate him. There's nothing you can do about it. I don't care who you are. If you follow public speaking, Bill Clinton, great public speaker. Ronald Reagan, great public speaker. This is what the country would love to have right now, would be Bill Clinton against Ronald Reagan. You know what I mean? We would be just as divided as we are now, and yet people would be happier about it and feel like, okay, somebody's really speaking to me.
It's poke and flare.
Being a great public speaker doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be like a great leader. But it really makes you feel better when you're sitting at home going, yeah, I can get behind this guy.
Yeah, it's amazing to me how bad everyone else is compared to him.
Yeah.
That there's not, on this level, presidential politics, that there's not better speakers out there.
You would think that that's all they would be working on. You would think these guys should have to make nothing but speeches. They should be pretty good at it. They should be going, how does Chris Rock get off a joke? Because Hillary's thing, when she opened up with, I'm speechless. You know what I mean? I almost feel speechless. It was that forced, unfunny person doing a written line, and instead of the fact that it's just about you now. You know what I mean? Okay, we get it. You wish you were making a speech. Well, you're not.
I swear, when Hillary hugged Bill last night, I think it was after Bill's speech, and Hillary greeted him back out on stage.
Yeah.
I swear she mouthed the words, "We're back," in his face.
You wish. You wish.
I swear I saw her go, "We're back."
I killed. She probably said, follow smoke, bitch. Follow smoke. John Kerry will lead us to the next 8 years I'm going, what are you talking like that for?
Who's that guy? I know she doesn't talk like that normally.
But she did look good, didn't she?
Both of them look 10 times better than they did when they ran in 92.
Yeah, I don't get that either. I don't get the fact that Bill Clinton looks better than ever. That's got to be tough for Hillary, knowing that he's out there looking like the silver fox and going out to party every night.
I like in Bill Clinton's speech when it gets so fundamental. I mean, you're there with the Democrats, it's their party, and he'll say things like, if that's what you want, then join the Democrats!
Yeah.
You know, and it's just...
No one's going to rip.
Yeah, and it's just so old school. You wouldn't say that in any other speech. There's not a campaign stop along the way where you're going to yell, join the Democrats!
Right. Yeah, the convention is the only place to get people screaming for their party. It's a pep rally.
I know, even though they don't have the surprises and the actual politics of the old conventions, it still gets old school like that, and I think that's why I like it so much.
Yeah, well, it kind of felt like it kicked in last night during Clinton's speech, where it did start to feel like an old-time convention. I thought the two things that he got off that were really strong, if you were part of those people that sit there in the middle and don't know which way you're going, is when he said their party needs our country to be on different sides. They need us divided to make a point. I thought that was a strong angle to take, and the other strong angle was the Vietnam War joke that he included himself in. Both those things made you think, yeah, all right, now I am starting to see a little bit of differences between these candidates.
Those things were real strong, and I really like the angle that he took in the speech of, hey, I get the big tax break.
Yeah.
And in order to protect my tax break, here's what they have to do.
That almost came off like a school teacher for me, though. That had one of those goofy things like a teacher would try to just break it down as simple as possible while putting in your little hack joke.
It is reduce it to the ridiculous.
Yeah.
And that's what he does really, really well. And Chelsea's boyfriend up in the booth.
I didn't see him. How's he looking?
He was looking good. Chelsea was looking great. Everyone looked great last night.
Yeah, how can you not? It's prom season.
Everyone looks great until I watch any of those after-hours interviews.
Yeah.
And Russert looks like he's 3 sheets to the wind.
Yeah.
He even tried to do a drunk joke. Tom Brokaw was interviewing Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart actually said, I believe Teresa Heinz Kerry killed a hobo with her bare hands. And Brokaw lets it go right over his head.
Yeah.
And Stewart has to say, are you going to let me get away with that? I just said the woman killed a hobo.
Whatever. This is my last convention. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm out of here after this one. Yeah, Ron Reagan Jr. does that After Hours show on MSNBC, and he looked like someone had just drawn lines in his face. And he's only like 47, 48, but he did not get his father's facial structure at all.
Yeah, the speakers look great, and the reporters look like crap.
Is it because it's a 24-hour-a-day run, you think?
Oh, yeah, because Brokaw started at 4 in the afternoon.
And, I mean, for them, this is like when we go to Vegas, where you attempt to go and lay down for a while, and then you're like, I can't, there's too much happening.
Yeah, and it's day one, and you just leave everything on the convention floor.
All right, Ron Reagan Jr. Speaking tonight about the stem cell stuff. How big is that going to go over the fact that it's a Reagan in front of the Democrats?
Oh, the Democrats are going to embrace him. They're going to swoon when they see Ron Jr.
They're going to love him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's going to be, it'll be close to Clinton proportions where they were just starry-eyed.
Do you understand anything at all why you should be for or against stem cells? This is the weirdest stuff I've ever heard of.
Yeah, I have no idea, and it's, where we get the cells is like a big deal, because even the Republicans, President Bush will say, yeah, limited stem cell research.
What does it mean?
So where are those stem cells coming from?
Yeah.
I don't understand any of that.
Well, it sounds to me, if I can't understand it, I might as well be for it until somebody can prove it wrong. Because I'm hearing, hey, we can cure cancer, we can cure polio. And I'm like, well, that sounds good. And they go, well, at first, it comes from stem cells. And I go, whatever. I don't even know what a stem cell is. If you told me it came from a dog, at least I would be able to picture it.
You know, I should take back that radio psychic because Ron Jr. said he's going to talk about the technology of stem cells.
Yeah.
So that could be a really dull slideshow lecture.
Maybe, hopefully, I'll be able to understand him by the time he's done, because I see the other doctors talking about it, and I don't know where they're coming from.
And then the big speech tonight is Teresa Heinz Carey.
Yeah.
Telling the convention floor to shove it.
I hope she does, Fezzi. I say you go, girl.
That's what Hillary said.
Oh, is that where I got it from? I don't know.
You go, girl. God, that creeps me out to no end.
You go, girl. Todd Terry's wife.
Well, who brought the Iron Robot in here to speak to us? Iron Giant.
Fez, I say to Teresa, you go, girl.
Boy, that voice comes from down deep. It comes from down in the big ankles, I think.
It seems like she should have had a sledgehammer in her hand with every syllable.
She's John Henry, and she's going to beat that machine.
I had no idea why she was talking that way.
So, Teresa Heinz Carey, she's either going to come off really weird or really likable. I don't think there's going to be a lot of in the middle on her.
I think she's kind of hot for an older lady. I put her in the hot older lady thing, and maybe it's the $1 billion that does it for me. But if you have $1 billion, how much crap can you take off of anybody?
Well, with her, I'm afraid she's going to come off very Zsa Zsa-like with the accent and stuff.
Well, I mean, supposedly she has some big backstory about how she came to this country, and it's, like she wasn't born into big money or whatever, and they think that she's going to be able to pull the speech off. But does it really matter who the president is married to? I mean, all you really want out of a first lady who is one that doesn't butt in. Anytime that you have a first lady who doesn't butt in, they're really liked. But Ronald Reagan's wife, Jimmy Carter's wife, not liked at all. Nixon's wife, loved by everybody. Hey, she's great. She doesn't open up her pie hole. You can't say enough good things about her.
And Bill and Hillary, oh my gosh, they're on opposite ends. I don't know who people would like to see with Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
But it's obviously not Hillary.
They don't like it when the wife speaks up, and it's like that all the way through. All they want out of the wife is for her to put on a tea party and be nice. That's all we ask for in a first lady.
Well, the first ladies will always take one of those issues that you can't argue with.
Yeah.
Children should learn to read.
I'm against retardation. And everybody's like, yeah. That was Hillary's problem. She used health care. Hey, maybe what we need is national health care. Everybody freaked out.
What are you doing, lady?
What, don't you know that there's billboards on the highways? Maybe we need to start worrying about that. Beautify America. That's where I'm at.
Nancy Reagan told us to just say no.
Yeah. Well, Nancy Reagan, she got a lot of heat because she was one of those co-president wives. And a lot of people were furious over that. But what guy doesn't go home from work, tell his wife what happened, and then gets advice about it? That is like the natural thing that happens in a marriage. We never want to see it in a president. They love the fact that Nixon didn't even sleep with his wife. They thought that was the perfect marriage.
With Nancy Reagan, they say that she really took over after he got shot.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't going to let something stupid like that happen again.
Well, he didn't even understand the tarot cards, Fezzi. He needed to know. All right, Fezzi, we got a gig coming up in just a few weeks.
It is going to be August 12th. That's a Thursday night, broadcasting live from the White Flint Mall in Bethesda, Maryland at Dave & Buster's.
Come out and meet Ron and Fez. Hang out with us. It's going to be a lot of fun. More details coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're going to take a break right now. You're listening to the Ron and Fez Show.